What's up, everyone? Welcome to Tables, Ladders, and Bumps. This is our post Summerslam show. It's me, Marlon, and I got Mr. Wade with me here. We are down one. Mr. Pierre is down with his family. I believe it's his daughter's birthday. So they are out celebrating that. So happy birthday to Pierre and your family and to Pierre's daughter. Let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about. We got SummerSlam recap. Ooh. We got we got Raw recap, and we got our 3 count for the week. That is our agenda for the show today. If you guys like what you hear, agree or disagree with us, like and subscribe, leave a comment, give us feedback. We got some pretty constructive feedback on TikTok that I will take into consideration.
It
So
has been noted, and I've even mentally at work been trying to improve on the thing the person said. So we do listen to your
yes,
comments.
yes,
If if you're just being a jerk, then whatever. Then I read it and we go about our day.
right,
But if it's actually
right.
constructive criticism and suggestions, we will listen to them and try to improve on these things because we're trying to put the best product out there. So
That's
uh
right.
yeah.
Yep.
Undisclosed person. I don't even remember your username. If you watch the beginning
Yes.
of this, I think you could tell we're trying to work on it, but
Yes,
about
very
40 minutes
consciously.
in, it's gonna probably slip back in, but we're doing our best.
Yes, we have noted it and we will try. So, like, subscribe, and give us feedback. We are open to it and we are willing to change this to make us a lot better. Let's get into SummerSlam, though. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the OTC in the arena, the return of the original tribal chief, although OTC to me sounds like over the counter, or that is it. So the original tribal chief is back. He's back with a vengeance. He came and he took care of business. I want to talk about that pop that happened because, as I said in a reaction video, we were all expecting it. We had a big hunch that this was going to happen, and yet the pop from our living rooms, from the stadium, I believe they were heard around the world for the return of Roman Reigns back back in the scene. Um, Wade, what did you think about that pop? What did you think about that turn? And you could do your bleeding heart, or you could hold back and we could go back and forth with it. What do you want to do?
I can give you my opinion.
Let's
I
go.
there was in my household there was zero pop. There was slightly a oh cool. I did not I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
It wasn't I did not think I we know he's babyface now because he at least jogged the last 5 feet of his entrance before it took 5 minutes for him to still get to the ring when you're supposed to run in and save someone, but he walked for you mean 200 yards and then jogged for 5 yards, so that was sweet. I will admit, like it was cool seeing the pop. I like Roman Reigns, but everyone's acting. I'm just gonna be blunt. People are acting like he just came back, like he did, like when he came back from fighting cancer and
Mm.
was gone for a long time and had leukemia, and that pop wasn't that great compared to this. But that's what everyone's acting uh like. We just witnessed him coming back from fighting a disease for 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been gone for what, 3 months, I believe, 4 months.
Yeah. 3.5, 4 months. Yeah.
Yeah, not that long.
Yeah.
So I've had stomach aches that have lasted longer than he's been gone. So I just thought, and like, and Marlon, I appreciate you being. I know you're a bleeding heart tribal chief fan. I
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Roman Reigns. I
Yeah.
just I don't think this bloodline story is as good as everyone makes it out to be. I don't think. I will say I appreciate Solo more. I don't know if I think some of it is they know he's a bit boring to watch, and having him
Hmm.
be the tribal chief will piss everyone off so much that it'll get them more hype for Roman to come back. So they manipulated a lot of you marks into getting super excited for Roman Reigns to come back, but
Hmm.
it was cool. I don't know if I like the new music. I think it's worse. And yeah, he did a Superman punch and a spear and then gave a head nod, and everyone acted like he was, you mean, Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant doing 3 hours of acting by himself. It was like it was cool, but let's
Yeah.
not let's not go overboard here. It wasn't that cool in my opinion. All of the Judgment Day stuff that happened throughout SummerSlam was significantly better.
Yep.
All of the Judgment Day story has been significantly better uh since Mania.
Yep.
Uh it's been way better. I don't think uh, yeah, Jacob Fatu is a star. That's what I got out of that. Honestly, I fell asleep watching the solo match. Within
Hmm.
5 minutes, it was really boring. I'm not
Yeah.
even joking. I legitimately fell asleep. Woke up to Jacob Fatu coming out, and that was sick. He's
Yeah.
awesome. And then saw the tribal chief OTC over the counter come out and do his thing. It was cool. Like I'm not pretending that it sucked, but I wasn't yeeting all over my pants like the rest of uh the yeah, like you were doing. So and Michael Cole was doing. So I I didn't even realize for about half a day that uh KO and uh Randy Orton got involved in the match at all because I had fallen asleep. So then I went back and watched it, and I really didn't miss anything because it
Yeah.
was if I would have thought, they probably fought and took the other guys out, and that's why I
Yeah.
didn't see them, and that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I've been seeing all these people reviewing SummerSlam, and my great friend here, Marlon, gushing about the tribal chief, and I've just been sitting here feeling like Mugatu and Zoolander. Feel,
I feel like I'm taking crazy
I
pills.
feel like I'm taking crazy pills. We act like
Second
we're
coming of
acting.
Christ, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. We're acting like if Roman did come back from fighting cancer, which he has done, and
Right.
more power to him, and that is an awesome story that he's able to overcome that. But he's been gone for 3.5 months, so it's
Right.
not really a big deal at all. He's misses a month at a time, all the time, anyways, on SmackDown.
Right. Right.
So uh, this is not a big deal to me. And we all knew if you're putting Solo in the main event, Roman has to come back. It because there's no way in hell you're gonna have that as the main event unless you're
Right.
having Roman come back because that would be the dumbest
Right.
thing ever. So
Right. I think I know why the people popped, myself included, why they popped the way they did. One, a lot of people appreciate who Roman was or is after WrestleMania. Like even I've seen a few Roman haters who are now acknowledging their tribal chief, like online, right? And then I think that like, oh God, this guy was great. Oh God, this guy did put Cody over, blah, blah, blah. I think that is one reason. Another thing is, and I feel this way, like SmackDown has felt like redundant to a lot of people. Um, Kind of like the same tune every time with the Bloodline 2.0 dominating, being jerks, even though it could have been better. But I feel like a lot of people felt like Solo wasn't carrying. And Jacob Fatu was a breath of fresh air. Tongans weren't carrying. So I feel like, oh, thank God. Like we put that Star Wars theme out with like Paul Heyman looking like Leia saying, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi," but like, "Help me, Roman Reigns, you're our only hope." So I think that's why a lot of people were happy because it kind of like broke the monotony, and they appreciated him after WrestleMania once he was gone, and he was like, "Oh, damn, I guess he did leave a bigger footprint in the scene than we thought." However, go ahead.
He is great. I am not
Yeah.
denying how he is one of my favorite wrestlers. And his acting, we talked about this before we even had the podcast, I believe. When they had the bloodline stuff, this is when Jimmy and Jay, I believe, were still in the bloodline at the time. And when Roman wasn't in there, just the acting and everything was not great.
Yeah.
And as soon as he came in, he brings up everyone's acting skills, and his acting, just his facials and everything is spectacular. I like him a lot. I'm
Yeah.
not like the biggest fan of how all of his matches the last like year and a half were basically the same exact thing.
Hmm.
But I do think he's an awesome wrestler. So I will say that. It's
Yeah.
I'm not being a hater just because I don't like
Yeah.
I like Roman. I just
Yeah.
not trying to give him an over the top of the pants handy. So
Yeah. I agree. And along with that, I feel like this could have been built up more. I feel like I could have waited another 2 to 3 months for his return. And I'll tell
mm,
you why.
okay.
I'll say that I feel like coming the return of other bloodline members, I feel like should have been before his return.
Mm,
Like we say Jimmy, they said Jimmy's cleared to wrestle. I feel like Jimmy could have played a hero and try to fight off the Bloodline 2.0, get decimated. I feel like Paul Heyman could have come back and try to talk some sense to him, maybe another shot or whatever his role would be, and maybe Jay a little bit. And I see it as Bloodline 2.0 decimating OG Bloodline, doing a deja vu scene with Paul Heyman as they're about to wreck Paul Heyman again. That's when Roman comes in. Like, I'm going to let you guys think that you're going to run the show. I'm going to send these guys in there, or they're going to try to stop you. But then I'm the final tribal chief to really put an end to this. That's how I felt it could have been built better.
okay, I disagree. I completely disagree with that because I while the visual of him stopping Paul Heyman. So the only way to do that well is if he sneaks out from the crowd and does it. And what they really wanted is a giant pop where he can walk for 10 minutes out to the ring and beat up Solo real quick. So you get the
Mm-hmm.
full crowd thing. I don't care about that at all. I feel like having him somehow doing all this stuff off screen where he befriends the somehow gets back in the good graces of the Usos and has the Usos
Mm-hmm.
fighting the bloodline first. That would like thematically not make sense because he was terrible to them and he needs to go and fight this battle himself before he starts trying to bring the Usos back and atoning for what he's done.
I'm not
So,
saying he was working in the background. I'm saying Jimmy's coming back because he's pissed of what the Bloodline 2.0 did to him, right? So he's tried fighting them himself. And then Paul comes back. I don't know what he
yeah.
would do towards the Bloodline 2.0, but maybe talk some sense into them. And they don't even have to be walloping the OG Bloodline. They could just have them in a corner about to do the same thing. Then the music hits because it's like, here comes the savior. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I don't think he
Like,
deserves that with the Usos. Because then it looks like he's saving their butt, and it kind of makes it, again, like thematically, like, ah, you just saved us. All right. Like, I guess it's okay. Whereas if he does this, he doesn't even like Cody,
mm-hmm,
technically. He hates Cody,
mm-hmm.
but he did what's right because what Solo's doing is bad,
Worse. Yeah.
worse. And now he has to go crawling back to the Usos and admit
Yeah.
what he's done is wrong. I see what you're saying. I feel like for the match, what you're talking about is better. Like if that was happening in Cody's match. But I
Mm-hmm.
think story wise, the way they're doing it, because I assume he's gonna have to grovel and admit that he's wrong and should these change and say yeet to Jay and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. I think that'll be way bigger of a payoff. But
Hmm,
if they did what you're talking about as a one-time moment, that is sick. Like that would be a way cooler moment, in my opinion. I guess you could do the thing where you have him. I don't know. I see what you're saying. That it could be done well. I like. I think I know what they're doing, and I like it. Now, if they
right.
go off in some weird direction, I I hold by the ability to say that it sucks. But if they're
Yeah,
doing what it looks like they're doing, I think this is the best way to do it. But yours would
right.
be a better. The match would have been way better, and they maybe wouldn't have done 15 minutes of one-on-one in a Bloodline Rules match before cheating starts. So,
I
uh,
know.
what
I had to
in
remind
the?
myself. I was like, "Oh wait, this is a Bloodline Rules match. Like, where the hell is everybody? You know, like people
Oh,
weren't even banned from the ring. You
we
know?
got to establish Solo as a singles wrestler. No one cares, dude.
Yeah,
Just have
yeah,
them start beating each other with weapons to start it off.
yeah.
Ah,
Get
that was
into it. You got to go back and rewatch the part where Randy comes in
I watched
because
I watched it. That was probably the best part of the match other than Jacob Fatu and
it was just hilarious because he's got like 2 miles worth of running to do. He's like, oh God. He's like, here we go. He's like high fiving people along the way.
yeah, that was great
So
actually. I liked that a lot. I actually like Tongaloa missing the corner, which
the corner.
they you would have thought they had magnets on everyone to hit the corner 5,000 times throughout the
I
matches,
know.
but somehow the only person that can miss it is Tongaloa.
Right into
So,
the rope. Just like a foot away from the corner.
I mean, I would do that
Oh man.
wrestling, like for sure.
Yeah.
Again, when I'm making fun of him, the things are funny. We cannot help.
Yeah.
It's not like a regular botch where okay, try to do a suplex and like you slipped or something and whatever you felt.
Right.
It's super comedic every time. You either punching someone in
Yeah.
the butthole, accidentally hitting your brother in the face, or totally missing the corner that every other wrestler hit 5,000 times throughout the same event.
It was because of the
So
patch, the depth perception.
the depth perception, yes.
Oh man. All right. Um, okay, for the return of Roman Reigns, the original tribal chief, are you guys cool with how it played out? Or do you think it could have been done better? Are you happy he's back, or could he have taken a little more time off and away from the ring? So let us know what y'all think. Okay, if
Uh,
we're doing, go ahead.
yeah, do you want to go through the two Judgment Day matches together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I personally really liked Rhea's match with Liv.
Hmm.
I thought it was really well done. I think they have good chemistry. This is probably Liv's best match I've ever seen her wrestle, but it's with Rhea Ripley. She's one like top 5 women's wrestler in the world for any organization. She sells her ass off. Everything she does is crisp. She has her character down. Everything's good. I thought Dom was amazing in the match. The way they planned out everything in the match, where you didn't, you kind of thought, oh, is Dom gonna accidentally help Liv win? And then you see, oh, he actually did it on purpose. You get the make out at the end. That is, I thought they told a great story in the match. Rhea popping her shoulder back in by like
Love
shoulder,
that.
but like it was so cool. And thank God they had this go first because I was just bringing up the magnet to the post because
Hmm.
that's why I thought it was stupid that they had everyone run into the post after this match because it was so important and valuable to the match and the whole setup of the match
Hmm.
that anytime you have someone else do it, if they don't act like their shoulders popped out the rest of the thing, it just
Right.
diminishes the value of it even happening.
Right.
So I thought it was really, really well done. And yeah, I loved everything about it. And when that happened, I got started getting real nervous for my boy Priest.
Mm-hmm.
thinking,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, are they gonna do a total coup? But Triple H usually doesn't do that. He'll do like one thing and then another. So I was, but because I wanted Priest to be Gunther personally. I've been I got my Priest tank top on right now, but I've gotten really into Priest. I mean, I've liked him for a while since the street fight,
Mm-hmm.
but man, that match was a banger. So you could go ahead. What do you think about the Liv Rhea soap opera match?
Yeah, definitely played it out very well. I had a feeling that I don't know if this was determinant of the outcome of of the match, but like when Rhea was walking down the ramp with Dom, she was like high-fiving people. So I was like, okay, like heels typically don't do that, right? So I was like, okay, she's face. She's face now. So to me, that was like an indicator that like the turn was going to happen. Um, and Dom saying I hate you to live and all that stuff, that was like too obvious to me. A
Yeah,
couple of weeks ago, I was like, okay, well, I think he's in on it with her. So the thing that really sold me on this match was me not being able to tell if Rhea really did dislocate her shoulder or not. Um, I
he,
couldn't tell.
she was doing this, and I've I've personally dislocated people's shoulders wrestling, like doing
Right,
amateur wrestling before, so I've seen it a million times. But the way it didn't, I was positive it wasn't out, but the way she was had her arm like twisted and had you could just see the sinewy stuff in her shoulder, and
right,
she did it in an angle that I thought, okay, if you haven't seen someone's shoulder popped out, it's gonna
right,
look like it's popped out, kind of. That's how I felt, and it tricked me for a second, and I've seen it a bunch of times. So
right. So I was sold on that because I couldn't tell if it really was or not. And then I also loved it was a deja vu situation where the chair's in the ring and like you mentioned, like you thought Dom was gonna accidentally help Liv. And then that quick camera shot of him like smiling and like
oh
turning around
yeah.
with a smile. I was like, I thought it was an accident up until that point. Great sell. And then Rhea's reaction to Dom kissing Liv. You could see the heartbreak happen to her, and I love that how she sold that too. So those main points in that match, that's the part that I loved.
And then yeah, they had a backstage segment with Priest and Finn, and you kind of got the tension there, and you understand where Priest is coming from
Hmm.
because it did seem, if you're looking at it from Priest's perspective, like it was out of nowhere. And Finn's been the least trustworthy, to be honest, out of everyone. So
Mm.
it seems
Hmm.
like, okay, Dom's not smart enough to come up with something like this. Let's be
Hmm.
real. So someone was telling Dom to do this. Was it Liv? Was it Finn? Was it both of
Hmm.
them? I think Priest was right for, well, and obviously he was right for asking Finn, like, did you know about this?
Right.
Um, so I thought it was cool they had that segment, and then Priest and Gunther's match was top two. That was the best match of the night,
Yep.
in my opinion.
Hands down. Yeah, I agree.
Easily, uh, I mean, they made Priest look so good in
Hmm.
that even him flipping out on Finn, the way they staged it. Uh, I see people complaining that Priest rolled
Yeah.
Gunther, and they have to do the spot. So
Hmm.
honestly, Gunther should have maybe rolled, to be honest, and
Yep.
it shouldn't have had to be Priest,
I think that
perhaps.
was more on Gunther for where his placement
Um,
was.
Gunther could have, because the other thing is too. Someone could say, well, Priest should have done that. What was it? A South of Heaven on him? I think
I
that's
don't
what he
remember.
used on him. It was
Hmm.
something that would have hurt. Oh, we'll
Yep.
do it closer to the ropes. You know how much more that would have hurt, dude?
Right.
Like Priest South of Heaven, like that bump would have sucked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, and there's a lot of stuff that could go wrong with that. You don't want to hurt the dude if you got more wrestling to do.
Hmm.
So I whatever. If he rolled him and he was leaning that way too, so it kind of whatever. I was fine with it. But yeah, him watching the video and seeing that it was Finn
Hmm.
and losing his shit, fighting out of the choke at first that Finn got taken out by in their match,
Hmm.
kind of showing Priest is a level ahead of Finn. And
Yep.
him going, I mean, he looked like a horror movie villain or something where he's just like, "Ugh," like reaches through the ropes and is choking Finn. It was awesome. I thought, even though it was dumb that he did that compared to CM Punk losing his crap over a bracelet, all of this made way more sense. And I'm not an
Yeah.
idiot. I get that it's a symbol and all of that stuff with CM Punk, but let's
Right.
be real. Like this, the way Priest looked, it didn't make him look stupid. Like
Right. Right.
for CM Punk, he looked kind of silly, which
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll talk about that match next. But I just thought, man, they really made a star out of Priest. He's had good matches all the way through. Yes, there's been a few botch things. The one where his foot got stuck, I don't even put that on him. That all those
Yeah.
ropes were weird. That whole
The
PLE
whole
and
PLE.
people were having issues. So I don't
Hmm.
really put that on him. And I think he probably got knocked silly when he didn't kick out the one time. So I
Right.
whatever, there were those, but all those matches were good. So
Yep.
and this was the best of all of them. He looked awesome. I'm pumped that people are getting into Priest. He deserves it, and he's
Yeah.
he's moving with the cards he's been dealt. But what did you think about this match?
I loved how the people are pretty much making Priest their people's champion. Again, we talked about this earlier. Gunther helped him do that by just talking so lowly of him. And the people can relate to Priest probably more, right? And as far as him being like a weak champ or a paper champ, as he's been referred to, him like bringing, like saying to Gunther, like, bring it on, like, give me more. Like, even when he's down, he'll get knocked down again. He'll get up. He'll be like, all right, do it again. It's kind of like that whole underdog Rocky Balboa, like, I didn't hear no bell, like, let's keep going. So I like that about Priest in this match. And it really, along with the last 2 weeks of him doing promos versus Gunther, it really helped him get the people to be on his side. Love that. Speaking of the people, the fan perspective, WWE's been doing this whole immersion thing where the superstars are at the fans' level, whether it being live in the balcony or in the high level seats. It's like everybody's a part of the show.
Hmm.
Jay and Sammy walking through concessions down to the ring. Like, they want to make people a part of the show. So the element that I saw in this was Priest, no, Gunther first looking at the big screen because we all
Yeah.
look at the big screen, right? Gunther seeing the blood on him, like, oh, what the hell? Like, being surprised about that or disgusted, I should say. And then Priest looking at the big screen on the replay. So I love that element of this match where they're still immersing themselves in the fan experience and us just all being on the same perspective. Um, the Finn turn, devious, textbook heel,
Hmm.
loved that. And then Priest with the righteous indignation of just wanting to choke somebody out as if that person was a criminal or they just hurt somebody who was innocent. I love that part too. So it was
Yeah.
just rage, way better than the CM Punk rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about the CM Punk match next?
Yeah. But let us know what you
Yeah.
guys think about the whole Judgment Day story arc, the implosion, the turns. Did you see it coming at this PLE? Could you have waited a little bit more? And what do you guys think about Damian Priest and him being as over as he is right now? Let us know. Let's talk about CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Your thoughts?
It was fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
I like this feud. Personally, I'm not the biggest Seth Rollins fan, so
Mhm.
him being so involved in it, I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of,
Yeah.
but they did the drama well. I think CM Punk looked like an idiot because of the bracelet thing.
Yep.
But if there's one thing we know about CM Punk, he is very petty and has thin
Hmm.
skin. So this
Yep.
didn't seem unrealistic. And like even though I thought it was dumb, how I've seen video of CM Punk, you mean fighting with someone backstage, and I like CM Punk a lot, but the dude is very I he's one of my favorite wrestlers, but does not have thick skin. So I could
Yeah.
see how someone just wearing a bracelet that was his and stuff would make him kind of lose it because of the symbolism of it. And
Right.
so I didn't think it was planned out poorly or anything like that. I just when I compare it to like the Damien match, it wasn't, and it's CM Punk's first match back since the injury, so they weren't going to go super crazy either. It was a pretty safe match, so I was fine with it. I like for me, it's like a 3 3/4, 4-star match. I
Hmm.
liked it. There was good drama. It was very soapy,
Yes.
but it
They even paid
was,
homage to the other
yeah, like they paid
90s
homage to
match.
it. I Seth Rollins, I think, got involved too much, but
Hmm.
I didn't really mind. I thought when he was doing this stuff, I started getting annoyed a little bit, and
Hmm.
then I just accepted it and I was fine with it. So he
Right.
played his role fine. They wanted him to be involved, and I mean Seth Rollins getting to what we had in Raw. I'm fine if he fine with it for what we're gonna get to in Raw later, but yeah, it was a fine match. It was not impressive, but it wasn't disappointing.
Right.
It was good.
I agree. Like you, I could have done without Seth Rollins, but I know they're setting up the next story or chapter for Punk and Seth because they had bad blood started from the jump when he returned to Survivor Series, right? So they got to
Yeah,
carry
they
that
have a
out.
lot of history because the Shield was for Punk too.
That's
So
right. That's
so
right.
they know each other well.
Yeah. I I was hoping that they would go easier on that match. I know it was a lot of basic stuff going on, but I feel like I was watching Derrick Rose play basketball and I was like, ooh, like I don't want a Mr. Glass type situation as far as like injuries to Punk. Um, and then the whole sentiment, he got too sentimental for a guy who's like logical and thick-skinned or acts like he's thick-skinned or like nothing gets to him, he's unnerved. Like the whole bracelet thing just didn't make sense to me. I was like, what the hell are you doing, dude? Like
But
it's
he
the
is
ref.
thin
He
skinned. He is
he
thin
is
skinned.
thin-skinned, but
Yeah.
he acts like nothing. He acts like nothing bothers him. He always comes out on top, or he plays the high ground, or he takes the high road. So that bothered me. Where I feel like Priest's reactions, though they were tunnel visioned, were more justified. You know. So
I I think it's a difference of their characters though. Because
mm,
I think this did fit Punk, who is a very flawed, petty person.
mhm.
So I, it made him look silly, but he's silly when you think
Yeah,
about it. Whereas
yeah,
uh Priest is supposed to be some big, you mean badass dude that's fought from, and CM Punk
streets.
was CM Punk, you know his story with his, you mean addiction and his family and all of that
Mhm.
stuff. He's had not the easiest life either. But if
Mhm.
we're just looking at all the stuff and drama he's had everywhere, the dude is thin
Yeah,
skinned, and I get what you're saying, but like most people who have thin skin act like they have thick skin.
right.
So I think it fits for what, like some of the people with the thinnest skin I know act like they're the toughest people ever. So I think it fits, but I don't
Did
know.
you see the meme? Did you see the meme of the POV from Seth's ref cam? And it had like
No.
CM Punk like charging him or charging his direction, and he had like this pissed off face, and it was blurred, which was great too. And it said Jack Perry's POV.
That's awesome.
I was like, that's great. Uh, anyway, let us know what you guys thought about the CM Punk match. Did you love it? Did you like it? Was it just okay? Was it worth the buildup from the past few months between him and Drew McIntyre? All right, SummerSlam card. We also got the U.S. title
Oh, I
between
forgot that
Logan
was even in
Paul
the match
and
in this.
any spots or highlights that stand out to you? We know that finally, after a
Yeah.
couple of years, that or a year and a half or a year and 8 months, whatever, that LA Knight finally has a belt, a championship, some gold around his waist that he could flaunt around. Anything stand out in this match to you that was surprising or anything that you didn't like?
You know what was surprising was Triple H acting like he had not seen a springboard moonsault like that Logan Paul did. Like, oh, I never even seen anything that looked like that. Have you watched any lucha match? Like, if you watch CMLL, you just turn on
Yeah,
a random
yeah,
CMLL at Arena
yeah,
Mexico. I'm pretty sure this last weekend with MJF, like 10 people probably did it. So
yeah,
again, Logan Paul's good, but when he said that, you know what it is. Like you acted like you never seen anything, and you're about to sign the Lucha Bros. So what? Like
right.
obviously you've researched this because they do that way better than Logan Paul. So that part was just silly. I
That's
don't
what.
like. Yeah, uh,
Go ahead, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I don't like LA Knight that much. I'll be real.
Right, right.
You know this. Pierre knows
Yeah.
this. Only person I like less than LA Knight of popular people is Jey Uso. I will say LA Knight has not disappointed me in a match in a long, long time. He's had
Yeah.
solid, they're not good, or they're not great. They're solid matches. I have nothing to complain about. He
Yep.
has intensity in it, the crowd's in it. He's not for me, but he's for everyone else. And I'm
Yep.
glad he has the US title. I'm totally
Right.
fine with him having the US title. Him as a world champion, no thank you. Him as intercontinental, no thank you. But US title, cool. Good for
Good.
him. I want
Yep.
him to have like cool matches. You got a lot of like
Yep.
Andrade. I want to see him versus Andrade, him
Yep.
versus Carmelo Hayes. There's some
Yep.
good matches on
Woo.
there. And yeah, I'm actually excited for it. So that's my thing from that. Logan Paul, he does cool stuff. Uh,
Do you
whatever.
think Logan Paul elevated the U.S. title?
No, he wrestled 2 matches.
But what about him like outside of the ring, carrying it around, showering with it, posting about it,
I
bringing it
mean,
everywhere?
no. Like rubbing his dong. I would have to see metrics showing that more people are watching WWE since he
Right.
won that, but it's hard to even quantify. Oh, since Logan Paul won the US title, the WWE is super hot. Yeah, because everything else is good. So I
Yeah.
can't. How do you
Yeah.
even quantify that he did not elevate it?
Okay.
Gunther elevated the Intercontinental title and made that
Right.
thing from a joke into something serious. No one takes the
Right.
US title as
No,
a like super serious belt right now.
it's true. I don't even think Ray elevated it. And who had it before him? Austin Theory, right?
Yeah, I like Austin Theory, but that reign was not great.
It
He had it
wasn't.
for about as long as Logan Paul too,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
at least defended it.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what Logan Paul did for that belt, if anything. It
Now
made
he did
LA Knight want it, so it gave him a place. That's
maybe
it.
some like annoying kids that you don't want to sit next to at a wrestling show ask their parents to buy him a US title for Christmas or something.
You
Other than
know,
that,
that
that's
could be
about the
it.
only he did not elevate the title, but maybe title purchases increased from
Maybe.
spoiled bratty kids. Am I wrong? That's his
No,
demographic, right?
no, there's a lot of kids who do like Logan Paul. Like they have the gear. They have like if I go to a live show, it's like young kids wearing Logan Paul stuff.
Yeah, it ain't anyone our
Although
age.
ah,
If
that
I
wig is pretty
saw
enticing
you,
though.
if I saw you with that wig, I would want to
Bro,
start Gunther chopping you right there.
what would you do? What would you do if I went full cosplay Logan Paul at a
I mean,
TLB?
I would actually laugh and think it's funny, but I would honestly ask if I could chop you also.
I'll
I know
have a
you said you're
Pokemon
curious
card.
about I know you said you're curious about getting chopped. Let me give one good one to you.
The only thing, not the only thing, one of the things that stopped me from doing is like, I don't want to spend money on that US title. There's no way,
I
because I
like
think
the
that would have
U.S.
took.
title. It looks cool.
Yeah, I know, but versus other belts that I could buy, I would not want to spend money on
Like
that.
mine, the best title of all of them, the
That's
planet's
right.
champion.
That's right. Daniel Bryan. All right. Not much to say about that match. Yeah, I don't know why people were tripping over the springboard moonsault too. I was like,
It was cool. It was
the,
good. He did it really well.
it was
But I also
clean.
it was very clean, very fast. Usually there's a lot of people do like a bit of a there's some
They climb up.
yeah, there's some gaps in between the things, but he
Yeah,
did it like a lucha. Like
yeah,
it's something I would see in a CMLL AAA match or AEW where they got a bunch of lucha guys. It ain't nothing
right.
compared to what the Beast Mortos does. I'll tell you that, or friggin' hologram. So yeah, watch that match and then come tell me how good you think freaking Logan Paul is. So, but
All right.
he's cool.
Here's a question for discussion. One, does LA Knight deserve a belt bigger than the
Hell
US
no.
title? Okay. So in the comments, let us know. And did Logan Paul elevate the US title? Try to remove your bias of Logan Paul before answering that question. Did he
Yeah.
elevate the
I
US
think
title?
objectively he's not like the best person in the world, so we don't need to
Right.
get into a
Right.
debate about
Because you
that.
see those comments online, it's like, man, I hate Logan Paul, but damn, he could wrestle. So try to do something like that.
But
All
if
right.
you want to just comment, I'm fine. If you say that
Yeah, that
thing,
too. Tell it
it helps us with the algorithm. So I
absolutely.
don't care. If you,
Tell us what you had for lunch.
yeah,
So all right. We got two more. We got the women's championship between Bailey and Nia, and then we got the Intercontinental title match. Let's just talk about the women's title match. Let's give it the flowers it deserves. What stood out to you in this match?
I have a tinfoil theory
Oh shoot, you want to put the
about this
tinfoil theory in
regarding this.
this? Let's go! Intersecting segments. We got the tinfoil theory going on in our SummerSlam review. Okay, this is regarding the women's title match between Nia Jax and Bailey. Thomas, what is your tinfoil theory? Or Mr. Wade, I should say. What is your tinfoil theory?
What uh what does the Bloodline 2.0 need? A queen in it. So Queen
Oh,
Nia
wow.
is joining the Bloodline. What does a queen need? A princess. Tiffany Stratton is joining the Bloodline. I think that is what we need. You have Tongaloa with an eye patch, missing all the people that he's supposed to hit and interfere with. But then you got Tiffany Stratton over there with her money in the bank briefcase, nailing people in the head and stuff. I think it's flawless. You need some style, you need some class to balance out uh, the bloodline. We don't need Hikuleo in the bloodline. We need Tiffany Stratton.
To kind of like offset the savagery, you need some pageantry.
Yes, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Hmm. All right, there's your tinfoil theory by Mr. Wade. Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton joining the Bloodline 2.0. Wow.
Just make it like 15 people in there. Uh
Wow. Wow. Yeah,
I
let's get the stable going.
uh this match was really good, I thought. Uh I don't think Bailey and PLEs this year. I feel like her match with Piper was okay, but I feel like a lot of her matches, her triple threat with Naomi and Tiffany Stratton was great. Her match with Io Sky was great. Her match with Naya in this PLE was amazing. Her reign sucked though. I
Yep.
don't know, and we're gonna talk more about some of that later. But the women's booking is terrible.
Yep.
I love what they're doing storyline wise with Naya and Tiffany Stratton, uh, and that's basically it for the women on SmackDown of things I find interesting. So, but
Yeah.
I thought this match was really good. The double annihilator, no one's surviving that. Uh,
So good.
yeah,
So
that
good.
was great. The fake cash in I thought was fine, and pretty sure I am going to buy that Tiffany Stratton Money in the Bank briefcase.
You got
So
to use it for work, man. You got...
I cannot do that because I will get fired, but I will certainly have it at wrestling shows, and I will use it to carry around my Planet's Champion belt.
Man, that's such a good
Nothing
idea.
better to carry around my locally sourced and uh, ethically made belt than
Yeah.
a briefcase based on a Tiffany's purse. So
Yeah.
I that's what I'm gonna be using to carry that thing around when I don't want to have it around my waist.
That's a good idea. Dude, speaking of Tiffany briefcases, they have the white Money in the Bank briefcase for sale with the Tiffany autograph for like 169 bucks.
Out
Not bad.
169.
Yeah,
Oh, I might get
it's not
both.
bad. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I may double up. I could actually use the other one for work. The bedazzled one, there's no way I could use that for work.
Oh man. So yeah, I thought the match was great too. It wasn't bad. It wasn't just good. There were definitely some great spots like the double annihilator and even Bailey kicking out of the first annihilator I thought was awesome. The failed cash in, great too. But I think the Bailey championship had less to do with her run, even though I will admit they fumbled it, whatever that came of it. I think it had more to do with getting herself out of damage control and her deserving a title at some point during this current run of hers. That's why I think it was short lived, but I feel like creative after fell flat, if that.
So bad. It was
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah. So it was just I just wasn't into it. Um, but yeah, all right. Let us know what y'all think. Is is Nia Jax and Tiffany going to join the bloodline? Wild tinfoil theory there, Wade. And what did you think about Bailey's title run? Good, bad, meh? Let us know. All right, finally, the shortest time due to the shortest match, given to the shortest match. I heard they had to cut this match in half. Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn with the IC title on the line. Braun Breaker getting his first gold on the main roster. I'm happy. I feel like a proud papa. But speaking of which, Big Papa Pump and Daddy Breaker
Yeah.
were in the crowd. I thought that was really cool. But what did you guys think about this match? Wade, what did you think?
Yeah, I will give as much thought into this as time it got into in the PLE. It was fine.
It
Braun
was fine.
Breaker won. He should have won. I
Yep.
would have liked it if they gave Sammy almost no offense, to be honest. Sammy's done enough,
Yeah.
and you just have Braun Breaker learning from his mistakes and
Yeah.
fatalitying Sammy. But I was fine with this. It wasn't a particularly it was the worst match on the card, easily.
Yep. Yep.
But they gave it not that much time. We'll see what happens when they do the 2 out of 3 falls match
Yeah.
on Raw next week. But whatever. I
Yep.
wanted Braun Breaker to win. Um, we're done with Sammy Hogan, so
Yes.
yeah, I want to see a match with Braun Breaker and Chad Gable. That's what I want to see.
Ooh, nice.
So
Nice. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that
Sammy better not be posing as an underdog in any match moving forward, man. I'm so done with that. Dog. Like, come on.
bro, you had the
No
IC
more
title like
underdog.
3 times, dude.
Yeah, dude. Seriously.
You almost beat
And
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and tag title. Come on, man. Like I'm done
Yeah.
with Sammy the
Yeah.
underdog. They got to get something new for him.
Yeah.
So,
So
so all right. Are y'all happy that Braun Breaker won the IC title? And what is next for Sami Zayn? There you go. That's the next question. All right, that is our SummerSlam review. Let us move forward. It is now time for the Raw review. I feel like a lot of our continuing storylines are going to happen from what happened at SummerSlam. What do you got, Wade, for your Raw review this week?
I wanted to talk about Judgment Day and Priest becoming one of the hottest baby faces in
Mm,
WWE.
mm.
I and I had talked about, you mean, Bloodline and Roman Reigns turning babyface, and everyone's like, ah, like it. And finally, Roman's being cheered. This Damian Priest babyface turn, where he's this over, is one of the most impressive things I've seen in wrestling. Like, some of it is
Hmm.
Gunther, some of it is seeing Priest just be really good last year, where he was tag champ, had really good matches. Uh, as champion, he had good matches. He's done good promos. We've learned more about him from his documentary. It's a culmin how they've done all this, him cashing in at WrestleMania when everyone was saying he was the worst Money in the Bank winner ever. Now no one's saying that.
Uh-huh. Whoa, tell him.
Everyone was making fun of him, and that he has one of the coolest
Woo.
cash ins. So he is a full fledged uh champion. He's a full fledged babyface, and I loved everything regarding Judgment Day in the episode. Him cutting that promo, talking crap to Finn. Finn being like the Weasley heel and being basically saying, "Oh, I waited a year to do this," and not going out to fight him and sending out Bobblehead to go fight
Oh,
for the uh
such a villain
the
move, man.
the pullback and seeing the Goon
Oh,
Squad and just
oh,
Liv and Dom just making out with each other and stuff. I was like, this is really bothering me. So
right.
everything about that was great. You had the promo between JD and um Damien. That was great. Yeah, the match, fine match. Who cares? Interference. But then you get the sickest like after match thing where
Yes.
the crowd's hot as balls. I popped my tits off when Rhea Ripley came out,
Yeah.
and it, I loved everything about that. So that was masterclass. You had
Hmm.
everything in SummerSlam that we were talking about earlier. Those turns, and you made a full-fledged star from all of this. The Bloodline has not done that.
Hmm.
What did the blood? You could say Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn was pretty popular. You just never really gave him a chance to cook. I don't think with the Bloodline, that's about the only thing you could
Hmm.
really say, in my opinion. But the Usos were already popular tag. They were already one of the most storied tag teams ever by the time Bloodline stuff happened. Roman Reigns, yes, it made him into a star and all that, but like he was the main person and he's already been given a million belts.
Hmm.
Uh I I don't think I would say Roman's the one person who really benefited from it. And
Hmm.
maybe Sami Zayn. You could say the Usos got better. That ended in them going having the worst match like at WrestleMania. So I'm not the biggest fan of that blow off, but yeah, I feel like this you've made the biggest heel in the company,
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio. You
Yeah.
made the biggest
Mm.
female babyface, which
Rhea.
is Rhea. You made one of the biggest male baby faces when you also have Cody Rhodes on your roster. You made a huge baby face in Priest.
Mm.
Carlito has become relevant somehow. People love Carlito right now. Finn is pulling that. Finn was already made. Let's be real. That was like
Right.
he had the really the biggest
Yeah.
stuff there. And then JD is relevant.
He's getting my
Everyone when he was
respect.
everyone when he was joining Judgment Day did not want him to join Judgment Day and thought it was going to
Yeah.
ruin the group. And he's
Yeah.
made the group better. He is he's funny.
Yeah.
He's plays that goon squad heel like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna send our knucklehead out here to like take the bullets first. And
Yeah.
he's relevant. He's a tag champ now, and he's a believable tag champ.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a choke slam of a century or South Heaven
Yeah.
of a century. So they've done something the Bloodline couldn't do. So I
Mm.
don't think Solo has become much
Mm-hmm.
from the Bloodline really. Like at first it seemed like it, but that was just because the Bloodline was hot. But I don't. I
Mm.
guess Jay's become a singles star, but he's called main event and doesn't really main event. So I
Right.
don't. I don't know. But I think this is done. This is more of a success story than because this is what factions are for to do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. I agree. I think the rejuvenation of this bloodline, not blood of this, I think the rejuvenation of this Judgment Day definitely beats the rebuild of Bloodline 2.0.
So much better.
So much better. Everybody is, I think Bloodline 2.0, everybody's featured also, or can be featured, and they've done tag matches and, different steps on matches and everything. But I feel like with the Judgment Day, like, I believe it more because I can't take the Tongans seriously. Um, their debuts were decent, but I can't take it seriously as serious as I do with the Judgment Day. I feel like this faction can do more than the Bloodline 2.0. Like we talked about this before. I wanted Bloodline 2.0. We wanted Bloodline 2.0 to just be absolutely ruthless, reckless, chaotic, and just destroy the backstage, right? And I think they're doing that a little bit more with Jacob Fatu, but I think the Judgment Day is just much more capable of doing that on a 3 hour
So
show.
much. And then, I didn't even bring up Liv. Liv was
Mm,
someone people thought, oh, thirsty dudes like Liv Morgan a lot.
yeah.
But
One
people are
dimensional.
one dimensional. She's
Hmm.
shown a depth in her character. They finally gave her something that she could bite
Hmm.
off playing this pun intended maybe this character that
Maybe.
is I don't know. I'm really into this character. So, and
Yeah.
I like, yes, I find Liv attractive. She's super attractive. Like, okay.
Yes.
But that's
Yeah.
not why I like Liv in this. I think she's playing this role really well.
Hmm.
Um, like, I am thoroughly impressed with how she's done all this. And yes, I'm biased because I like Judgment Day as a huge Finn fan, but I like Finn. I like Damian Priest more now. And Finn was my favorite wrestler like all last year. You know how heartbroken I was when he lost at SummerSlam by getting curb stomped on the
Yeah.
briefcase. I went to SummerSlam last year to watch Finn win the title and had to watch that super Seth beat Finn with all of the Judgment Day trying to help Finn. So I'm just impressed. I didn't want
Hmm.
Carlito in the group. It's worked.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Yeah. That was like one of the biggest misfits I also saw too, but man, it is work. And like the less he does, the better he is.
yeah,
It's
we don't need him to wrestle.
he
Just
throws
be a
in
buffoon.
one-liners, his body act, his facial reactions. I'm like, Carlito is super goated right now and goading himself too at this point. So yeah, I agree. Like the whole Judgment Day segment yesterday, like when they panned out and showed the new
Yeah,
Judgment Day, I was like, I didn't think they could get any better from their last group. Like
yeah.
I
I
I
hate
love
this
the
group.
OG.
I
Yeah,
hate these people.
I literally can't stand these guys are punks. These are like the bullies at school, like oh, so good. So
I
good.
I don't hate the new bloodline. Like I think Jacob Fatu's super cool, and then I laugh at Tonga Loa doing stuff and
Yeah.
having an eye patch, and then Solo. I kind of everyone hates on him. I kind of appreciate what he's doing, but I'm not wowed by very much that he does or anything. I
Right.
just kind of feel like, he's there.
Yep.
He's all right. But
Right.
I see the Judgment Day people and I want to punch them, all of them.
Right. Right.
Not
Yeah.
Liv,
Same
but
here.
yeah,
Bunch of punks.
I still hate Liv, but I wouldn't,
All right. Let
yeah.
us know what you guys think about the Judgment Day segment from Raw. How does the new Judgment Day look to you guys? Is it better than the OG Judgment Day? Um,
The
I'm
Edge
not
one,
talking about. I'm not. I was gonna say
it's better than the Edge one.
by
Let me sit in
miles
my
and kilometers. Yeah,
chair.
yeah, definitely better than that. I thought about that as I was coming out. I was like, the second
AJ.
edition of the Judgment. Oh my gosh. So yeah, let us know. All right, my Raw review is definitely about the Wyatt Six. We've had plenty of discussions on how the Wyatt Six is going to play out with the supernatural, then to the psychological, then to the character vignettes. And the big question was, how are they going to wrestle? Are they going to do it with masks? Is it going to be a slow paced match? Is it going to be dark? How is this going to happen? Are we going to even get to know who these characters are from an in ring perspective? To me, all of that was it proved me wrong. I didn't believe it was going to work. I thought it was going to be hokey and corny. Don't throw stones, but I wasn't the biggest Fiend fan. I didn't hate him, but it just didn't interest me as much. And this has me completely drawn in. I think a lot of it has to do with like my affinity for Joe Gacy. It's weird. Because of his appreciation, my
Like our
appreciation
child.
of him in
Yeah.
NXT. Yeah, exactly. And then Dexter Loomis too. I've always just been so curious about what he's capable of doing. I felt he's been not utilized well, mysterious prior to this. And I'm like, can they redeem this guy, his name, and his character? And I feel like they're doing all of that. But when they were walking down the ramp yesterday, I was like, dude, what's going to happen? As soon as they took those masks off, I believed, I saw it. The Creeds, or what's her new name? American Made.
I like the nickname. It's
I like
so
the name
bad.
too. I
It's
like the
so
name.
bad.
I love American Made. I love seeing the jock versions of the Creeds with Gable. They're taking these bumps, they're selling, and they're the muscle heads to fight these psychos.
Mm.
So I love that contrast. And I think I didn't let it play out. A couple of weeks ago, I said the whole Creed thing, it's not believable. It's dumb. They're a bunch of stooges. They're getting their asses whooped already. But to me, this is the perfect pairing because they're the jocks who are fighting against these weirdo psychos. And in ring wise, it's great. What did you think about the Wyatt Six?
I liked it a lot. The presentation. I thought it was basically how we were talking about how them going out to the ring, presentation great. When they went out and wrestled, Dexter Loomis is just gonna bump his ass off. He's just
Mm-hmm.
gonna, all right, you want to
This is my
power
role.
bomb me into someone? Cool. Do whatever you want to do. He looks better than he looked in NXT to me. I
Mm-hmm.
I uh I know I was in my debate thing. We'll have to repost that or something where I was talking
Yeah.
about the Wyatt Six, but I feel vindicated because I was
Mm-hmm.
talking about Dexter Loomis only having 5-star matches, but I wasn't completely serious when I was ranting about that. But Hoey looks awesome now. I'm all
Yeah.
for it. I never disliked him. I just didn't know
Right.
he
Same
could
here.
do
Mm-hmm.
if given the opportunity. And he's gone full into this character. Joe Gacy finally has an opportunity to be in something cool because the schism wasn't it. Those of you that didn't watch NXT, that thing was terrible. And it wasn't him for lack of him trying or like lack of wrestling ability by him and the other guy, two guys in the
Yeah.
group. I mean, you did have Ava. She doesn't have a surname. She's a rock daughter in the group too. But the three guys in the group all could wrestle super well. It was just a stupid group that
Yeah.
made no sense. A typical
Yeah.
NXT thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it a lot. uh, I do have to say we're gonna have to bring up two more things from Raw before we end the Raw review because it was such a crazy
Damn. Okay,
Raw.
let's
But
go.
uh, I mean, we got Gunther and Randy Orton
Okay.
wrestling, so that's like
We're
kind
gonna
of a
we're gonna talk about Gunther and Randy. What did you guys think about the Wyatt Six in-ring
yeah.
debut? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you believe it? And what did you think about the new American Made faction with Chad Gable and the Creed brothers? Let us know. I want to read it. I want to see what's going on because I'm pumped about this. All right, Gunther, Randy Orton. Let's talk about it.
I just thought it was really good promo. I like that they're wrestling each other. I thought it was bold for Randy to say him and Gunther are gonna put on matches like Steamboat and Ric
Mm-hmm.
Flair,
Mm-hmm.
which are probably the best matches ever in some people's
Yeah.
opinions.
Yep.
So that was bold. Both of them are great wrestlers. I'm not the biggest Randy Orton in-ring fan in the world. He's been cool since he's come back. But Gunther's awesome. I if he's saying that, I feel like he's gonna be game for a crazy match. So I am pretty intrigued because Gunther wrestles the opposite of how Randy wants to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Especially based on there's a Brian. If you guys have not seen it, there's a Brian Danielson interview by Gorilla Position,
Yeah.
and he kind of talks about. You mean there's certain people that you're gonna lay in. You wrestle different styles for different people, and he brought up Randy Orton's not someone I'm gonna lay in and be super stiff with because he did not like that. Gunther is
Mm-hmm.
very stiff. He's gonna beat the hell out of you. The opposite of what Randy normally likes, and I think Randy's gonna be game for it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm intrigued. I think we may see something crazy, but I don't care about the brand split. Randy was already Randy was potentially wrestling for this belt anyways if he won King of the Ring. So it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't him wrestling for the belt now when he technically didn't lose to the I it's fine. I don't think
Yeah.
it's a big deal. I don't care about the
Right.
brand split that much either. But yeah, I'm excited for this. The promo was great and I'm ready for the I want to see the match now. I was
Right.
disappointed when they said Bash at Berlin. I thought this is going to be the sickest Raw ever, which it still ended up being the sickest Raw ever because Randy
Oh
was in
God.
his stuff. But I was dude, when he because he brought up the Steamboat stuff, and I thought, oh,
Mm-hmm.
Randy's about to go in, and he's in his gear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to be fully chubbed up before I have to go to wrestling practice from watching Gunther and Randy wrestle. I am super intrigued by this, but we gotta wait till you mean 3 weeks or whatever. So
Yeah.
I thought it was
It'll come
good.
quick. Yeah, my favorite part of it, I agree with what you said, but my favorite part of it is the the conversation that they had when they had the mics down. Gunther saying, like, I know your style, like, I know you're gonna try to get me by surprise or whatever. And Randy pretty much said, no, I want you to see it coming. I love that conversation. That was like the icing on the cake, cherry on top, for me. So, but yeah, it was a great promo, great segment. It'll be an interesting match.
It'll be good, I think.
Yeah. So let us know what y'all think in the comments. Let us know, do you think that Randy's wrestling style is going to change by wrestling Gunther? Um, if he makes any modifications in the style, or if he stays the same old Randy. What was the other segment you wanted to bring up for Raw?
Bro, how do you not know what I want to bring up? Bronson Reed
I
hitting
know.
six tsunamis on Seth freaking Rollins. I've so peel behind this. I'm sitting every Monday. I have wrestling practice at 7 p.m. So I watch the first 2 hours of Raw in my car in a Chipotle parking lot, and then I go to wrestling practice. And I'm sitting there, and Bronson Reed comes out and basically interrupts Seth Rollins after this big CM Punk and Drew thing, which I don't even want to talk about that. They're still feuding. I don't think it's important. It's not a big
No,
deal.
no.
But and every time I feel like Bronson Reed comes in just to annoy me by interrupting people I want to see wrestle. Like
True.
he comes in uh like Chad Gable and Sammy. I want to see them put on a 5-star match. Bronson Reed came in, and I will say that match was sick, that triple threat. But I was texting in the group, oh, Bronson Reed came in to to ruin everything or something like that. And then homie goes scorched earth on on Seth Rollins. And I was losing. I must have looked like a crazy person in the parking lot because every tsunami, I was like, yeah, like I popped way harder for the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth tsunami than the tribal chief coming out to take out Solo. I, for that, I thought, oh, cool, yeah, I knew Roman was gonna. This, I was
Yeah,
like,
nobody saw this coming.
I
Yeah,
I've never been.
that's
I
crazy.
actually kind of. I'm fine with Bronson Reed, but he does generally get involved in stuff that annoys me,
Yeah,
but I'm into him. I want to see this
yeah,
match, and I want to see him
yeah.
tsunami him 10 times in the match.
Ooh, that'll be great. That'll be great. I didn't see the whole segment. I saw the highlights. Unbelievable for Seth to take that many. Crazy. Like one or two is a lot, but when you're like going six, like that does something to a man. No I'm kidding. Like it's just wild to take that many tsunamis. So raise the bar a little bit for me for Bronson Reed. I don't really care for him
Bro,
either. So
bro,
I agree.
yesterday in my practice, we were taking splashes, just people jumping up next to you and doing a frog splash on you, but you try to
Yeah,
protect them and not completely land on them, but it
right.
still doesn't feel great.
No.
It's depending on the person's shape, the more round
Yeah.
they are, it is impossible for them to land in a way
I was gonna say,
that does not like even though
yeah,
yes, it's like ooh, it's squishy. No, it's
no.
impossible for that not to hurt. So
It's like the same amount of gravity with more mass, which is
and
crazy.
and I was sitting there taking these bumps in practice the whole time thinking, man, that must suck so bad for Seth. Because I took a few that kind of hurt because the person, like I'm friends with them, they're newer too, and we don't know exactly what we're doing. But I took like a few that were kind of hard, and I thought, dude, the ones Seth took had to have been 15 times stronger than this, and my ribs hurt right now. So I gained so much respect. I I thought when I watched it, Seth might actually be like he did a blood capsule thing. Then when I
Yeah.
was taking those things, I thought, yeah, man, that could be real.
That could
At
be.
six tsunamis, he could be bleeding internally.
So a little different level of respect for Seth
I
after
I
going through
gained
that.
so much more just from taking someone just jumping up and basically doing a frog splash on
God.
you from the ground. So not even a ton of momentum.
Yeah.
And it there's ways, but yeah, if the person's built like Bronson Reed, they ain't gonna be able to post out like normal for you.
Right.
You're
Right.
taking a giant belly.
We got to talk about some of your training later. I want to know how to like you delivering the move, how you like if you were doing the frog splash, how do you keep your colleagues safe? That's what I would like to know. We don't got to talk about it now, but
I
like,
mean, I could
what are the ways
you
of doing
try
it?
to land on your forearms and stuff like in a
Mhm.
you would need to
Yeah,
land on them slightly because you don't want it to look fake, but
right.
you're trying to have slightly a base.
Yeah,
Uh so but you're like depending on momentum, you're gonna land on them
yeah,
and you're trying to land kind of in the stomach area and you got to
yeah,
protect your nards and everything. But
right,
yeah, there's ways but yeah, you're not going to be exactly perfect on them and stuff. And but yeah, you
right.
try to land on your forearms so you're it's not your full force on them. So,
Yeah,
but again, Bronson Reed is built like a ball. You can't.
you can't. Yeah, there's only.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
Like he's slightly probably landing back on his legs a bit or something, but still,
right.
you're taking it.
Still a lot of body mass
But it was just funny
coming.
that we practiced that right after I watched that, and I just each time I thought, wow, That must have
Wow.
sucked ass for Seth.
Or like, wow, these guys are pro. Like
Yeah,
crazy
just
that they could even take that.
yeah.
Wow. Awesome. All right, what did you guys think about Monday Night Raw? What did you think about the whole Bronson Reed tsunami assault on Seth Rollins? If you're a Bronson Reed fan, I'd like to know if there's any Bronson Reed fans out there. That'd be awesome to know too. All right, 2 count.
Oh yes.
We are down one. Pierre, we miss you. Come back soon. Let's get into the 2 count. I'll go first for this one. It's something we talked about offline as well. I'm seeing a lot of factions, a lot of trios in the WWE right now, particularly in the women's division. We touched lightly on the women's booking in WWE. Um, there are lots of trios going on. There's Lyra Valkyria with KC. There's the Stud Line or the Ministry of Starkness with Zoe Stark, Sonya Deville, and Shayna Baszler. There's the Big Three. I believe there's going to be another trio with the women's champs plus Blair Davenport. That's what it looks like. Like, and Damage Control. They're technically 4 people, but right now they're 3. What are we thinking about the trios? Now, New Day with Odyssey Jones. I mean, come on, like what's happening? What are we thinking about the trios
I heard
and
someone call
women's
the
booking?
Unholy Union with Blair Davenport as the Blair Witch Project. I think it might have been Adam Wilborn. It's such a good name. I wish they did that, but they would get copyrighted.
They
Uh,
cannot. Yes. So, what are you thinking about trios? What are we thinking about factions? Good, bad, limits, all that.
uh, well, this will eventually lead into my thing. So,
Yeah,
uh, well, give me your opinion, and then I'll go into mine and lead it into
sure,
into mine.
sure. To me, it tells me that it's a heavy roster, but a lot of people with potential. I'm hoping that it gives people the ability to shine their individual skills and that they don't have to be good. They don't have to be good only in a group. It does tell me that there may be some booking issues, like where to place people. Like Lyra Valkyria is like the what she had a hot run as a singles star coming into main roster, went up against who did she go up against? Nia Jax, some formidable people who I can't remember right now. But why you put her with KC? So
She beat Io
that makes me
Sky.
worried. Should be exactly
Yeah.
makes me worried about future booking and what creative has done. Of course, I'm going to let it play out before I complain heavily about it. But I feel like it's a booking issue, a saturation in the roster, and also at the same time trying to get more people in, as many people involved in action and on camera. So I'm not crazy about it, but I see why. What about you?
Yeah, I feel like this is a piece of the flaw in the booking for the women's, which is the thing I wanted to talk about. So it kind of leads
Hmm.
into my thing. It seems like they're gonna do. I had heard they were doing mid card titles.
Hmm.
It was basically said that they were doing that, which would be awesome. But this is showing all like everyone's in a trio. So unless you're doing mid card or trios belts, what the hell's going on here? Like
Hmm.
it makes no sense. It's just weirdly convenient that they're all in groups of 3.
Hmm.
So I'm a bit thrown off here. I the thing with Lyra, so she almost was going for the belt for a belt,
Hmm.
almost was queen of the ring, but you have Liv and Rhea in a feud, and there's no mid card title. So what does she have to do?
Right.
What would she
Yeah.
do? She ain't gonna beat Rhea.
No. Nope. There's
Like
really nothing.
throw her as a random person for Liv to beat.
Right.
Like that would be the only thing.
Right.
So without they need the mid card title now, because when
Hmm.
you're doing an intense blood feud that they have going on with Rhea and Liv, everyone else has their. You mean sorry for I can't think of another term, but just their dick in their hand. What are you gonna
Hmm.
do?
Hmm.
They got one tag belt to go in between two brands
Right.
and NXT for the women. So there's just nothing for most of these groups to do. So they need those mid card titles like yesterday because I feel
Yeah.
like that will actually help with the booking.
Yeah.
Because right now it's you got basically I don't know like 25 people fighting over like three titles or
Hmm.
like a lot of people fighting over three titles and one of them floats in between three brands.
Right.
And we're not even including the women's tag thing people in NXT. So that's like a whole other group that are involved in that whole tag thing and you can't
Hmm.
have whoever has those belts wrestling 5 times a week.
Right.
So yeah, I just they need those belts. I, I hope once they have it, it'll help with the booking,
Hmm.
but I don't think we need two women's tag titles. I'm fine with having one go across brands, but you need at least one mid card title. You could have that go in between brands. I'm fine with that, or two.
Yeah.
But it just no one has anything to do.
Yeah. Do you feel like they should have Liv? I know Rhea wants the title and I know Rhea wants Liv, but I feel like Rhea wants Liv's blood more than she wants the title at this point. But do you feel like they should throw someone else into Liv's storyline for a feud to make that belt worth aspiring for?
I mean, the belt's inspiring, like because it's the only one on the brand. So I don't think that that's an issue. It's that Rhea's there and they're not allowing anyone to go for it. So I guess you could have a baby face go for you just throw Kyrie Sane, she's a baby face now. You
Hmm.
could throw someone, I guess, for the new PLE
Hmm.
um in Germany. Do they even have any European girls? Tegan Knox. Is she on the roster? Is she on Raw?
I don't know where Tegan is.
Where the hell did she
She
go?
was she was on Raw
With
with
Natalia.
Natty. Yeah. But I haven't seen her since our meet and greet breakfast at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah,
Like I
we
haven't
met
seen.
her. Has
Yeah.
she been on TV since then? She
Dude, I
has
haven't
to
seen
have
her on
been.
TV. The
She might have
last time I
got
remember her was with Natty.
and then Natty had the whole contract thing and now she's re-signed. So
Right.
dude, I don't know. So
I don't know either. Put Tegan with Candice and Indy. I have no idea, dude.
yeah, but just throw someone. I guess you would have to write off Rhea though, because Rhea should
Mhm.
have another
First
shot
dibs.
realistically, since
Yeah.
like there was interference in a way,
Yeah.
and her head got donked onto a freaking chair.
Yeah.
So they let Becky have a rematch right away for the exact same thing.
Hmm.
So I don't know why they wouldn't let Rhea.
Hmm.
So unless you have basically Dom and Liv beat up Rhea somehow. You have to have something happen
Hmm.
where they have you mean Starkness Unlimited help them out as a heel thing. Hey, can you go hurt Rhea? But then you're writing off Rhea to have a babyface go against Liv.
Right.
So I don't know what you do there.
Yeah.
Nia, at least on SmackDown, you got a bunch of baby faces Nia can mop up. Well,
Hmm.
not a bunch, but you got some. You could have her. She'll beat Michin next week probably.
Yeah.
Michin, she'll
Yeah.
beat Naomi.
Hmm.
Then maybe
Yeah.
have her beat Bianca Belair. I don't think they'll have her
Hmm.
do that, but
Right.
that
I
would
think
be
a feud with
crazy.
yeah, Bianca would be crazy. I think even like Jade because Jade eliminated her at Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah,
So that could be
I
something
don't
too.
know if I feel great about that. As
I
a
know what you're thinking. Like it's not going to be the greatest spectacle, but I feel like paper wise, on paper and stardom, like Jade.
sure, I just
I'm
I
not saying I
feel
want it. I'm saying the fans,
It's fine.
if
That's
people
what you
are
want.
if people
You
are into
want
Jade,
Jade
shut up.
versus Nia more than you want Bianca versus
I'm
Nia. It's
saying
fine.
that's definitely not what I want. Yeah, I don't know. And
You
like
want an
Nia,
our Iron Man match with Nia and Jade. That's what you want.
definitely
And only give Randy and Gunther
not.
5 minutes. You
4 minutes.
You got to cut
4
their
minutes
match in half
squash.
so you can give Nia and Jade an
And
hour
Jade.
long Iron Woman.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not what I want, man. Um, was that your 2 count?
Yeah, that was fine.
Okay,
I
so
don't
our
even
2 count,
dislike Jade, but like, yeah, I just there's other more deserving people on the roster.
yeah. So what do y'all think about the women's roster in WWE right now? Is it being booked to the best that it can be? Obviously, we're not in creative and our name isn't Paul Levesque, but is that what is this the best way to optimize the roster? And also,
If you say yes,
I want to hear it. If you say yes, I want to hear it.
I want to hear it. And I want to respond to your comment.
Who's the best trios faction right now,
Oh,
male or female? Who is the best trios faction? I want to know. And who's the worst?
we didn't even talk about
Let's.
Odyssey Jones looking cool. That's how crazy
I
Raw
mean,
was. We didn't even get to talk about Odyssey Jones.
Odyssey Jones. I know. Dang it. No room for the New Day and the Final Testament. Sorry. We'll have to go till next time.
That's fine. We'll
Have
have
to talk
that New
about it next time.
Testament shirts, Final Testament shirts next week for the team.
Yeah, the
So
Final Testament.
I might order them for the group.
Sure. I'm a size large. All right, guys, that's our show for the day. Let us know what y'all think. Subscribe, like, let us know in the comments. We're gonna try to put
Ah,
out a lot
doing
of
the Paul
content.
Ellering.
Yeah, you
Dude,
got your one
I
glove.
got the newspaper thing.
Yeah, is that supposed to be like a scroll or something?
I don't. No one knows. Not even Paul Ellering.
Hey, Paul, before you go out there, just roll this up and put this in your hand. What is it? I don't know. It's just let's just do it.
All right.
All right, man. Thanks for listening to Tables, Ladders, and Bumps. This is our SummerSlam review as well. Like, subscribe. Let's get out there. Let's talk about it. We are huge wrestling fans, and if you are too, let's keep the discussion going. Next week, hopefully, we'll have all three of us back. And yeah, we're signing out. My name is Marlon, and I'm here with Mr. Wade. We'll see you guys.
Peace.